Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? Hope you had a good week this past week as the market gave us opportunities to capitalize on. In this video, I want to talk about my analysis for Euro USD. And I will be starting off with the weekly time frame and work my way down to the 4-hour time frame. Now on the weekly time frame, we can see that price has been moving to the upside, and has gotten to this area sort of where it's faced a sort of resistance. You can see that price has been forming this doji candle here, which means that there is a bit of indecision where price wants to go to. Okay, and if we look at previous price action, we can tell that we are currently sitting in this area of interest here. Okay, so this area of interest basically means that there are sellers here who are just accumulating their sales to a certain point whereby price in this area would end up pushing strongly to the downside. Okay, quite significantly at that. So and that is basically what most people are looking to trade for. And I did see that there are some traders who were entering mostly sell trades on Euro USD, especially yesterday. But um, price, yes, has gotten to the point where we should be looking for sell trades. The question most people face now is when exactly should we be selling the market? Do we still wait? There's still opportunities to buy still, or do we sell now and see what happens because we are in this sort of area of interest? If we take that, right, and we let's say we go to the monthly time frame, a much more higher time frame, and then again we look at what's been happening this month. It's still doji, still indecision whether price wants to go down or not. And then this indecision happening in this area of interest strongly suggests that most likely once it gets to the number of sellers, price would eventually push to the downside. And that's what I'm looking at in the long term. And that's looking at it from the broad perspective. But before that happens, for the time being, what are we working with? What are we dealing with at the moment? And then if we go to the daily time frame, we'll see that price has been in this channel for some time, from sort of higher highs, higher lows, so sort of ascending channel. And then when price got to this 1.1007 region or zone, it faced some sort of resistance. So there's been a bit of resistance here. Price got there, came back to the downside to touch the bottom of the trend line, went back up, and again there was this resistance here. And I did mention last week that when price was down here, that I was expecting a buy, and that's what happened. And price went up to face this resistance here. I got out when price got to this resistance level. When price got there, price sold again to the downside to touch the trend line, and then form this sort of doji candle, more or less an indecision candle on the daily time frame, not knowing where it wants to go next, but I still to continue to retest this um resistance level here, or if it's to go back down and break this downward trend line. And if it does break the trend line, then we should be looking for ourselves. Okay, and if it does break this resistance, then we should be looking for our buy. So for me, in the upcoming week, that's what we'll be looking for. Those are the key setups that we will be looking for. And when we go to the 4-hour time frame where I normally take my entry, we will say this is what I'm looking at basically. One is we can see this trend line there. We can see price testing it too, and then we can see it again. All right. So First time price tested, you can see from the engulfing candle, moved to the upside, faced this resistance, came back up to test the area again, formed this off engulfing candle, and then whether price will move to the upside or not is what we need to look for now. So two things. I won't be buying at this point here, even though there is this engulfing candle, because we're still facing this resistance, which is more or less quite close by. And then we already know that, as far as we know, there are lots of sellers in this zone. This is a major sell zone, right? Um, so yeah, so that's a major sell zone. And we're just going to wait and see, how price reacts in this zone. So basically, for this upcoming week, two things: wait for either price to break this trend line to the downside, and you wait for the retest, and then you take your sell trade to the downside. Okay, when price breaks it, I price will most definitely test this area because there is a zone here as well. That once price breaks through that zone, price will come in there to retest it and then continue to the downside. Okay, and that's how you can capitalize on the sell trade. All right, so as long as price is still in this sort of range, I wouldn't advise that you sell anything now. I would say you should wait to see how price reacts to that trend line, and if there is this sort of break and then retest before taking a sell. On the other hand, buys can still happen even though we're in the sell zone. So that means price can still push a bit further to the upside, possibly, and that will be only if this resistance level here breaks. If this resistance level breaks eventually to the upside, okay, before I can decide to sell at all, if I'm going to sell, then I would have to see price coming back to retest this resistance don't support and giving me a buy signal. So giving me a buy confirmation. So possibly a candlestick that suggests a buy trade. Correlating that with other tools as well, like the RSI or stochastic indicator, just to say that, what, price has gotten back into this resistance don't support, and then it's giving us this signal to maybe buy a bit further to the upside before looking for our sells downwards. Okay, so that is the only reason why, if I'm going to buy at all, that will be the only reason why I'm going to buy. But for me personally, I wouldn't be looking for buy trades at all. If you're going to sell this trade, we can either look for opportunities when price enters into the sell zone here, or we can just wait for price to break this trend line to the downside, and then we look for our sell opportunities on Euro USD. But for now, there is no rush. Let's just be patient, because once that trade plays out the way we expect it to play out, and if we need to sell at all in this zone, then we know we'll be looking at about 200 pips on that move, or even more when you look at the overall picture, because price could end up getting all the way down to this place, and then we'll be looking at maybe 400 pips on that sell trade. So I would say let's just be patient and see what happens in terms of the sell. And again, the reason why I'm mentioning the sell is what I said earlier from here, that we are in this sort of significant area, which is a sell zone. And if we go down to the daily time frame, we can see as well that price in this sort of upward channel, but failing to break this resistance here and giving us this doji formation. And all we need to do is, for us to sell this, is to wait for the break of this trend line, which will more or less confirm our sell. So break of this trend line, that's confirmation one. Two will be a retest and the formation of a bearish candlestick and other confirmations, other indicators to confirm a sell. and then we can take our sell trade to the downside. So this has been my analysis for EURUSD. I hope it's been helpful. If you like the video, kindly leave a like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel for more analysis videos. Thank you very much for watching and have a great week ahead. Peace.
Just what you do to me. Play my emotions like a pair of puppet strings.